How's it going, everybody? This is the Nitty Gritty. My name is Chad. With me, as usual, is Leonard. This is a show about wrestling, and sometimes we review matches. And in this case, we call it random match reviews, which is very creative. But any match that comes to our head, or we send the other person, or in this case, gets suggested to us from friend of the show, Ronnie. Um, we are going to be covering today a match that we are probably going to be discussing longer than the match itself went on. So it is a match that took place in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan between Kenta and Ricky Marvin, October 9th, I believe, of 2009, October 8th or October 9th of 2009.
That I did have written down. I had of October 15th of 2009.
Right, October of 2009.
October of '09. That could be
Right,
taping and airing kind of thing
right.
as well. So
So Ronnie suggested this match to us because it has received acclaim as one of the better matches that's under 5 minutes, or in this case, one of the better matches that's literally 2 minutes. And I was looking.
and a while back we talked about the Barry Houston versus Jushin Thunder Liger match from WCW, which was just a hair under 5 minutes, and it was considered by many to be one of the better under 5 minute matches.
Right. So a little bit of background. This is the first match I've ever seen with Ricky Marvin, but he has been wrestling for more than 2.5 decades. He got his start in 1999. He is obviously a native of Mexico, but he got his name after Marvin the Martian, a character that he liked. So he's wrestled for AAA and Pro Wrestling Noah, but he would do a lot of tours in Japan, and obviously in this case that's where he was. Kenta Kobayashi is known to people. I think these days, if you're a little bit more than a casual fan, a hardcore fan, you kind of know who Kenta is because he has made his name known not just by being a skilled wrestler who is still going, but also the fact that a very popular wrestler in WWE uses his move as one of his finishing maneuvers, which is CM Punk uses the GTS, and it was Kenta who had that move first, as far as I'm aware. Whether anybody predated him, I don't know. But in any event, Kenta has been around for a long time. At this point, he was competing for like a lot of junior heavyweight championships. He has faced Bryan Danielson a lot during this time. And before we get into what happened with Kenta after this match, let's just discuss the match itself. Now, as we know, anybody who's watched this segment with us before, I don't really do a play-by-play. And honestly, I don't know that a play-by-play would do this match justice. I'll just give my thoughts right now.
Sure.
This is the best short match I've ever seen in my life. I can't imagine like any other guys topping this in literally like a 2 minute span. I looked at like the time length as I was watching the video. The video is like a little under 6 minutes. And from about bell to bell, now Ricky Marvin jumps over the rope and hits Kenta as he's on his way in, that the bell officially rings like 20 seconds after that, or so 15, 20 seconds after that. And then if you go to when a pinfall happens, it's about 2 minutes. And it is nonstop. Like if you blink, you will miss something that they're doing. And like, I think to myself about people like, oddly enough, Randy Savage, who notated every single thing that happened in his matches, like he had it scripted. And I would like to think that these guys would have had to have done that here, because you can't do a match. I am not a professional wrestler. I know I might look like one, but I can't imagine two guys going in there and improving this, for lack of a better word, or calling it in the ring for that amount of time and fitting in all of that stuff without going over it beforehand.
I would say the pace is too fast, plus the array of moves that's done.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I do know that there is, and we need to find this. I'm trying to remember what it was. I do remember that there was like a 5 minute, very fast paced lucha match from WCW that was called on the fly because it was like a Saturday night taping, and they hadn't like, hey, we're going to air. Okay, you go do something. And I'm trying. I need to remember who that was, but that was something that was I remember was is considered to be the best match, like kind of called on the fly with no preparation. But yeah, just the pacing and the move array, I would say there's no way that you would just do that.
What did you think of this match, Leonard?
I did really like it. The negative that I would put on it is a lot of no selling at the very beginning. They no sell everything, but then they kind of start to sell as it goes on a little bit. And that helps with the idea that even though it's a 2 minute match, it feels at least twice as long in a very good way
Right.
because of the amount of moves and because it's so fast paced, but they actually do kind of tell a story and the selling does kind of come in. You know, you talked about them figuring out backstage. I wonder if they were just sitting around and say, hey, you want to see how many moves we can just do in 2 minutes?
They might have done
And they're
that.
like, oh, yeah, so, well, you do this and I'll do that and blah, blah, blah. Because it was, but everything had a logical flow to it. I mean, even in a match like this, like there were counters. There was, you know, a GTS attempt that got countered out of. There was near falls within all this 2 minute span.
Yeah.
As a novelty, I enjoyed it. You know, I find it a bit hard to give a star ranking to. I talked about that when we did Houston and Liger. And on a sub 5 minute scale, you know, probably four and 4.5 stars, something like that. I would be interested to see what they would have done in just 5 minutes. Could they keep up this pacing? Could they keep up this, you know, array of moves within say 5 minutes? But yeah, very, very. The only knock I said is I don't like that there wasn't any selling to start with, but that does come into play. And I really did like the hot start with the dive out of the ring because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I was
Yeah, because you know why? Because you know why? Because in WWE or AEW, they would have shown the guy in the ring.
Right.
The camera here is on Kenta coming out.
True.
So you have no idea. And the other two, they would know, oh, well, he's going to dive out onto him, so we got to show it.
Right.
And
right.
It has more impact when, as a viewer, we don't know what's coming. And, of course, the people in the auditorium would have seen it, but at the same time, they're focused on Kenta coming in, too. So I think that really helped to get it off to a great hot start and kind of let you know what you're going to get here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go full 5 stars on this from that scale that we discussed in our previous.
Yeah, sub 5. It's kind of hard to rank it on everything ever.
I wish that WWE or AEW, like AEW, I can't speak for WWE doing this, but AEW wants to give you on purpose like as much actual wrestling content as they can. Like they want to have longer matches. Sometimes, like, you know, sometimes they don't need a longer match, but that's what their goal is. Whereas WWE obviously is more of the entertainment side of it. And so, like, the in ring content isn't as, you know, full in terms of the show, belt, like start to finish.
Especially on the weekly television, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say on the premium live events is a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that one episode of Dynamite I watched a while back, I think there were at least 2 matches where I said to you, this needed to be shorter. You know, this needed to be a 5-minute squash.
They could do stuff like this, and I think it would be interesting. And certainly AEW has the guys that can go at this pace for
because again, this is all about pacing and moveset.
Right. I mean,
and that's definitely one thing I would give AEW is they have guys that have the moves and have the pacing and can make that short amount of time work. And find it a challenge too, as well. Like, hey, if Tony Khan or whoever say, hey, I'm going to challenge you guys, that I think they do have a handful of guys that would say, okay, okay, let's go do this.
Yeah, and you know what? I think because a couple of, not a couple, a few AEW guys, luchadors specifically, Penta
Mm-hmm.
El Zero Mero and Ray Phoenix have gone to WWE. WWE has the talent that could do it too, but WWE is much more rigid in terms of what their in-ring product has to be like and what has to happen. So I think it's a longer shot to see something like that there. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, I liked the fact that even though 2 minutes, this did have a story. Like that fact
Mm-hmm.
that Kenta was attacked before the bell and he was kind of working from behind. So it kind of made sense that Ricky went for the cover early on because he caught him off guard. And, you know, as you said, the selling kind of increases as the match goes on. If they had gone five, I for sure they would have included like a short submission hold or something. And, you know, if you look back on some of the early tapes that I got from like high spots and stuff of Dynamite Kid and you know Tiger Mask and when Eddie Guerrero was Black Tiger, I think he was all that kind of stuff. Those matches were not long. A lot of them they were like 10 to 15 minutes in length, but God, those guys included so much in that time frame, and you know it's a cool skill set to have. I think to be able to go out there and go any time limit and you know give the crowd a show because this really was like if you like my kids were in the room at the time I was watching this and like I looked away for a second and then I was like oh shit like you know I missed like three or four moves.
I had it on my phone propped up while I was making notes like this.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, after I don't know if it was directly after this or shortly after this, Kenta was injured around this time. He had to vacate one of the junior heavyweight championships, and he had a knee injury, and he would be out for like 7 to 9 months or something like that. So this occurred at the end of 2009. He wouldn't come back until into 2010. But I don't think it was because of this match. It might have been something else. But in any event, yeah, thanks to Ronnie for suggesting this. It was a really cool match to watch and really easy match to watch, obviously, as well. Like, I think the one assignment I gave Leonard was two matches that were like almost an hour. So,
Yeah, at one
talking
point,
together.
yes.
Yeah, this was really cool. Leonard, any final thoughts on the match for either of these two guys?
Oh no, no, I'm not that familiar with either of these guys, but I liked what I saw here. And again, I think we pretty much covered it. And we always say, hey, leave your comments below, your thoughts. What did you think of it? I would love to hear what some other people thought of this match.
All right, absolutely. Let us know. Check out other episodes as well. Segment Surgery. We do rebooks, Fever Dreams, fantasy booking. We do What's That Card? A lot of different stuff. Check out our videos. Hit the like button. Subscribe to our content. We're also available wherever you listen to podcasts. For Leonard, my name is Chad, and we will see you next time.